morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Contemplation, brought to you by Spotlight Recovery. I'm your host, Lucas. It is March the 9th. I've got a reflection here today from the Spiritual Principle a Day NA book. I've been quite enjoying this one. I picked it up at a meeting a couple of months ago. Surprisingly, hadn't heard of it or seen it before, so it was a great little surprise. So yeah, let me pop it up on the screen here for you and let's get into it. Ooh, pardon me. All right. One addict helping another in unity. Groups flourish with the loving support of addicts helping addicts. We strengthen our unity by participating in each other's recovery. From It Works, Tradition 1. After living in turmoil and fear for so long, the warm and welcoming atmosphere we found in NA meetings may have been puzzling at first. Some of us wondered if we were in the wrong place. We watched as members jumped in to help set up chairs and greet each other with hugs. This behavior was unfamiliar and yet strangely compelling. Despite our suspicions, we wanted to find out more. Some of us looked for excuses to leave or for reasons that we didn't belong, but found ourselves relating nevertheless. One member recalled, "I heard the speaker share about the despair that brought her to rock bottom. She gave voice to my own fears and regrets. It was a moment of clarity for me. I was not alone in my struggles." It dawns on us that NA members understand the desperation and isolation of active addiction because they've lived it. They found a way out and a new way to live. We begin to hope that the solution they found would work for us too. Over time, we come to appreciate what once confused us. We grow to value what we see and hear in meetings. We follow the lead of more experienced home group members and participate in some of our meetings' unity building practices. We welcome new members, empathize with each other's struggles, and celebrate the milestones of recovery. We notice what unity does for individual members as well as for the group. The way we treat each other contributes to a vibrant atmosphere of recovery in which members and groups thrive. Group unity starts with one addict helping another. I will be a part of group unity by offering loving support to a fellow member today. And then unity in caps down there at the bottom. Yep. I think that's a great one. I like that. I like this book. It is fun. Okay, so what have we got here? Well, I mean, just this opening line I found is quite true and quite important for us, right? Groups flourish with the loving support of addicts helping addicts. We strengthen our unity by participating in each other's recovery. And I love this. The opening line resonates very much with me. That's a lot of, or this opening paragraph, like that resonates a lot with how I felt when I first went to meetings. Was going right. It's like you're intimidated, you're scared. You're confused, you're not really sure of what to expect or what's going on. Although that some of us wondered if we were in the wrong place. And then just, watching people setting up, getting ready for the meeting, giving each other hugs and welcoming and all that stuff. I was just like, what is this hippie shit? Like, what is going on? I remember that. Oh my gosh. And it's, for me, that line right after it is very true. The behavior was unfamiliar and yet strangely compelling. And I think a lot of people can identify with that. It's just like, you walk into you find a meeting, you see everybody hanging outside smoking and talking, and like you wonder if it's the right place, and you go and walk inside and there's people setting up and hugging each other and talking and coffee and running around and like, what the hell's going on? Yet just seeing that like camaraderie and the hugs and just that welcoming with other folks and stuff, you're just like, okay, this is weird and I'm confused and I kind of want that, like, that's just something that pops out for me with that. And I really like those lines. It was strangely compelling, and despite our suspicions, we wanted to find out more. I very much resonated with those feelings too. This is a huge one that I see as a barrier for a lot of people. And I get it's 12-step. It just like there's a lot of challenges around 12-step programs. I understand that. But this opening line in the second paragraph, some of us looked for excuses to leave or for reasons that we didn't belong. That's a really important line, and because I've been seeing it my whole life in recovery. I've been seeing it my whole point, and like, it's amazing, and it's also so sad to see the resistance from people when they're just like, oh, these are all the reasons why that's not going to work for me. I'm like, okay, why don't you list all the reasons that it will work for you? Why didn't you do that first? Like, why didn't you look for the common ground instead of the difference? Why didn't you look for the solution instead of the problem? Like, it just... and it's funny because I asked that question, yet I also totally know the answer, you know? And I think so much of it, I think a lot of that is just simply somebody still being hijacked or convinced by their disease. Like, that's not you, that's your addiction. That's your disease telling you all the reasons of why a solution isn't going to be a solution for you. It's part of your disease that it still wants you to stay isolated, removed from other people, removed from the program, trying to find your own way and figure out something that works for you specifically because you're so special and unique. And ultimately, that's just going to get you high or dead. I've been seeing it for over 12 years. I've been watching it all the time. And it's so just knowing that and understanding that that's coming from your disease and not your true self is a real important distinction and thing to realize. And I'm not saying that that's like, none of this is 100%. None of this is absolute. So I'm not saying that for every single person, but like, if you're early, especially if you're early in, you're just coming into recovery and you need to quit doing drugs, I think you're going to be in a much safer and better place in meetings and in a 12-step program, getting and staying sober or clean, whatever, and trying to figure that out rather than just immediately rejecting it and disconnecting from this and then trying to go find some other way and some other path. Like, it just, and be it, this is maybe sounding a little bit too like 12-step preachy. I think just those first messages that I was trying to say earlier on just looking for commonalities instead of differences, looking for solutions instead of problems. I just really want to emphasize that position in those points because I think it's just really important and really makes a difference. And especially if you're an addict like me and your life depends on this shit, why would you not give that a try? You know, so that's all. That's all. I may have digressed a bit. That's just what I wanted to get across. And then I love where it follows up with the member talking about a speaker they heard. Just hearing that speaker sharing about their despair, about their rock bottom, that just would help them identify. That helped them know. It's like, okay, these people use like I used. They are speaking my language. I don't need to explain to her why I get high the way I do. I resonate with that completely. Like, I just really like, I just like hearing all of that. I like those points because that's popped out for me too. What does it say? I was not alone in my struggles. Yeah, that identification piece is so important because I felt like that so much. And so finding the rooms, the groups, the support systems that you really identify with, that really got high like you did or acted like you did and just did what you did. Oh, such a relief. Like, I'm not alone. I'm not a monster. I don't need to explain to you all how and why I did the things I did, because everybody else in my life beforehand, like when I was an addict, all my family, friends, everybody would just have those looks, and oh fuck, I hated those looks. Just the way they'd look at me, just being like, why are you doing this? I go to a meeting, I don't need to tell a single one of you why I'm doing this. You all just know. You just understand. Oh God, such a relief. And then being able to look at me and say, I get it. I did that too. Or there's so much freedom and so much liberation in that. That identity piece is just so good. It's so important. So I really, connect with that a lot, and that was really, I'm just repeating myself at this point. It's really important. It's really powerful. It feels really, really great. And that's exactly that next piece, that next paragraph that it follows up on is exactly what I was just sharing. And then summing it up, over time we come to appreciate what confused us. And it just talks about just starting to integrate more, getting more involved, doing these things, becoming like more committed and more of a member of NA in this case, more of a member of a 12-step group and of the program and everything, and all these feelings and all of it that comes with it. Welcoming that next person, like it says, empathizing and understanding is what we were just talking about, and celebrating milestones of recovery, medallions, key tags, all of that stuff. Oh my God, and especially, if you're one of those people who just would use all day, every day, or just used to that point of where that was controlling or the focus of your life, that was making such a big negative impact on your life, and then you don't use for a month, then you don't use for a year, multiple years straight, like that. Oh, that is amazing. That is so fascinating and so cool. What does he say here at the end? We notice what unity does for individual members as well as for the group. The way we treat each other contributes to a vibrant atmosphere of recovery in which members and groups thrive. Yeah. I have no more to say on that. I think it speaks for itself. I got no more to finish up on this. Just love this reflection and these points, and just especially that reminiscing for me of being going to first early groups and meetings and just really connecting with so many of these feelings and things that this reflection's talking about. So I hope the same for you. I hope you resonate with this reflection and what you heard today. Please throw down in the comments what stands out for you. What's your experience been like? You can even just share what some of the things you're nervous about or not. Just be happy to work with you through this stuff. I'm sure other community members would too. Those comments and shares can just help somebody else. It's the same ideas in a meeting. And just check out the description for all the other ways that Spotlight Recovery can support you. You can support Spotlight Recovery. We've got a whole bunch of free resources in there. Recovery coaching, podcast, blog, all of that stuff. And I do private recovery coaching with folks. My email's in the description. Please feel free to send me one if you're resonating with what you're hearing and want to talk about any of this stuff. And we've got other ways you can support our channel. We've got some merch. Got some great merch and donation links. You can join and become a member. Just all of that will help our channel grow so we can just carry this message to more people who are still suffering. It's the whole point of all of this. So please consider supporting a channel. It really means a lot. And besides that, I hope you have a great day in recovery. Hope you have another day sober, another blessed 24. And we'll see you again tomorrow.